Good morning, friends. It is beginning of October. It is Friday. I wanted to show you what is going on in the garden. It's kind of wild. It's okay. There's plenty happening still. I am still harvesting a lot. I'm still working on preserving stuff that was in the freezer, but I wanted to show you what's happening right now and show you the greenhouse and some of the stuff I'll be planting. Alright, so this is the wildflower area. As you can see, it is wild. That's a loofah. I threw it here because we didn't have space for it in the back, and it has kind of gone all over. There's actually only one loofah on it. They have a lot of goldenrod that's about to bloom. I'll be picking that fairly soon. We have some daisy fleabane. I kind of let this do whatever it wants to do, obviously. Now, we do have some okra growing in here. I don't know how that okra ended up there. I'm pretty sure at the end of the season last year I probably just randomly threw some leftover okra in here, and it's doing its thing. They still have marigolds and cosmos. This turmeric actually took off. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that because I want it to spread as much as possible. What I am gonna do, I do have a hedge trimmer for when I was working landscape. And what we've done the last 2 years is we just pass along the front of this bed and go and knock everything down. It cleans it up just fine. You can see some goldenrod right here. Now, I recently had went ahead and I had cleaned all this up, but of course it was hot and it all has gotten taken over by weeds again. So I need to come in and clean it out again. Lemongrass is doing just fine. It seems that most of the weeds in here are pepper vine. I am allergic, so I have to be careful about it. Or thornless blackberry, it is just bushing out everywhere. So we need to tie it up. This bed got cleaned out. It has one random tomato plant just hanging on. It's just there. I am going to be planting probably the cabbages and broccolis in here. And we have this one basil that went ahead and volunteered. I cleaned up this bed a little bit the other day. I don't know what we're going to do with it yet. We had talked about making another wildflower bed here. Not sure yet. It is a little cleaned out. I have 2 pepper plants that are not doing so hot that I'll probably pull out. The elderberry bush is huge. It is still producing elderberries. I'm assuming that's because we live so far south. We did collect some elderflowers the other day that I put in the freeze dryer. Our grapevine is finishing up basically, but it did really well, so hopefully next year we'll have some grapes. I still have to clean out this bed here. It's still got pepper plants, but otherwise it's pretty much done for. We have morning glories growing here. If you see any mess, just ignore it. We cleaned out the strawberry bed. We actually did take all the weeds out, but as you can see, they are back. I think we'll end up putting fabric over this also. I think I'll turn it into a medicinal herb bed for next year. That's my plan right now. We have another thornless blackberry here. We did have it tied to the fence, but with the weather, it just knocked it down. The peppers had a very hard time this summer, but they are starting to come back. And they are starting to make good peppers again. They were just kind of drying out and dying on the plant, but as you can see, since the weather has cooled off just a little bit, they're coming back nicely. So I'm looking forward to doing something with those again. The ginger is doing great. We did plant radishes in these. They seem to do the best in these little beds because the dirt is much softer. This is our Tabasco peppers. I had taken everything and I made a pepper vinegar. So it looks like I'll be able to do at least one more batch of that before this is finished. The blue butterfly pea flowers have absolutely taken over. I've freeze dried a lot. I have officially stopped picking flowers and I am just letting it go to seed. Now these seed pods, these actual peas that it produces, they are not edible. The only thing that's edible is your flowers. I made a lot of blue sugar with them. And I also freeze dried a lot, like I said, for teas. But this is what I'm after right now, is I want these seed pods. Garden sage is doing fine. This is more goldenrod. Goldenrod is actually a very good medicinal plant. So I do just let it grow in the garden if it shows up. It is not to be confused with ragweed. Here is some giant cactus zinnia. These red ones are my absolute favorite. I never have good luck growing a bunch of them. I always ever end up with one plant. And if it was up to me, I'd probably only grow these red ones. The greenhouse is finally pretty much emptied out. I have a little bit of basically trash I need to take out of here. But that's done with. We still have some work to do on the big greenhouse. We're having a cool front coming through this weekend, so it'll be like 60. So I think we're gonna end up doing some more work on here, but Aaron's building some new quail cages, so it'll be flip-flop back and forth between the two. All right, so we cleaned up this arch. There's nothing on here right now. These purple hull peas, I almost pulled them out, but then they get a new batch of flowers, and they have just been continually producing. So we've just been picking. I've made a lot of jelly with the hulls, but I think it's pretty much finished up, and we will probably go ahead and pull it out. It's got a few new flowers, but honestly, we've gotten so much that it's just time to take this out. You can see it. So yeah, it's done beautifully. We'll probably end up planting more next year, but I don't know. I did also see this. This is a volunteer greasy grits beans. I don't know if you've ever had those, but they are delicious. We eat these out of the garden a lot. That's what we had planted here before. These are the jalapenos. And you can see we still have these bugs, unfortunately. I don't know how well the camera saw that, but we have a ton of jalapenos. I am about to pick all that probably this weekend, and I'll make a jalapeno relish. That was really good. Bell pepper plants. It did rain a little bit here this morning, so everything's kind of damp. Banana peppers. This too I have to come pick, but you can see. Let's see if I can get a good picture. I don't even know where he's at. There he is. They are still here, unfortunately. Hopefully with this weekend's cool front, they'll go away. But we have a lot of banana peppers. I'm going to pick them. I haven't decided yet. It's either going to be pickled banana peppers or it will be freeze-dried banana pepper slices, because we like them in salads and whatnot. All right, so the okra. They had a lot of wind come through during the week, so it kind of knocked everything over. We've just been trimming leaves off. The sap from the okra makes me itchy, so if I need to go in there and get something, I'll trim so nothing touches me. But you can see they're still producing flowers. But what's on here, I'm going to go ahead and let go to seed, because this is all grown from saved seed. This is cowhorn okra. It does really well. It produces a ton. We did some pickled okra. I did freeze dry some okra. We have some dehydrated okra. But I'm not really doing anything else except saving seeds. And you want to go ahead and pick them when they're like this, before they burst open, because you can see this one bursted open already. So most of those seeds have fallen on the ground. That'll probably be more volunteers. Yes, the asparagus that we always forget to pick. More goldenrod. I know not everybody would let that grow in their garden, but we do. I hung dry some last year, and I put some in the dehydrator, but I think I want to try to freeze dry this year. The eggplant Lane wanted these, not me. They are producing like crazy. All the ones that we miss are turned bad. Go to the pigs, so it's time to clean this off. I did freeze dry a lot of eggplant. This is another, what was a tomato bed. I'll probably do some more fall crops, winter crops here. That's another volunteer. This is actually an Asian wing bean. We had those planted in spring. I guess a seed showed up. And you can see something's been chewing on this. So we did discover that there is a wild rabbit that is coming underneath the fence. And it is coming to eat things. Which explains why I had to replant my okra so many times before I was able to get some. Okay, so on this okra, I'll show you. They did have another wing bean seed that volunteered. These are Asian wing beans. This one's actually a good size if you want to pick them and cook them, because you want them when they're still a little bit soft. I don't like them when they're hard. These are delicious stir fried. If there is a way to preserve them, I don't know how. But they are good. And you can see they're just climbing up these okra. So, and then I have this pumpkin. And if I'm quite honest with you, I don't know what I put here. I just put some seeds in the ground just to fill up some spaces. But it's done beautifully. They have several baby pumpkins throughout. I'm trying to get this to focus for you guys. It's a day. It's mucky outside. See, this is the big problem with trying to grow literally anything here. We battle these guys. I want to try to get a handheld chop vac for next year so I can just chop vac these guys off. People say it works. This one's a combo of bug and wind damage, but as you can see, this one's fine. So I'm just hoping it'll hold off long enough to give me some pumpkins. So it'll be a little bit noisy back here, but I wanted to come show you. So on our breeder pins, we had planted some loofah vines. We actually cut back everything here that was in front of these pins, but it has grown back, and it has grown back with a vengeance. You can see these dead ones are from the vines we cut back, but they have so many good ones. So today's free rangers are the Silver Lace Wyandotte, so they're just chilling in the yard doing their thing. Tomorrow it'll be a different group. But yeah, I wanted to show you these loofah vines. I counted 26 hanging on this side. And I counted another 25 hanging on the other side. But I don't know what's on top that we can't see. But you can see this big group here. So that's about 50 or so for sure. Not including the ones I've already cleaned and processed. So I'm looking forward to doing that. That'll be Christmas gifts. And we may offer some loofah soaps on the website once those are all done. And then we have this wild morning glory. It just planted itself. I'm going to leave it for now, but not much longer. I don't want it to go to seed.